Hi guys, so I just took a little while just quickly messaging everyone. I only actually have to message about 20 people, and which is nice and easy for me, guys. So how is everyone? We're at Defending Elvis Presley. We've done loads of videos today. Loads. We've just done. It's Princess. Where's Princess? Let me 1 second. Let me let the dog out. I can tell. Where is she? Right, Princess, come on. Come on. Come on. No, she's not. No. She's going to want to go out. All right, what's the matter? Do you want to go out? Go on then. She's going to bark in a minute to come back in. Poor old Princess. It's freezing cold out there as well. So we've done lots of lives today. I've been on it today. We've done a dog walk live, which discussed this video, this long lost video that we found. I'll have to let the dog back in. Can you hear the dog barking? Hi, Deborah, Pat, Josie, Tanya. So we did a song reaction to Love Me Tender. Right, come on in, you come. In, it's freezing. Come on, it's freezing. Come on. In. Come on, in you go. Up. Come on. Come on, up, come on. Right, go. Up. A driving test tomorrow. Guys, you're gonna probably find my daughter is on a 7th test. 7th, guys. 7th test tomorrow. I checked the car today. It had a flat tire, and there was a couple of other little problems with it. You know, I fix cars. Fixing cars is something I've always done my whole life. Even my father fixed cars in Cyprus for the at the army base. My father, who lived in Cyprus, born in Cyprus, my father's a Greek Cypriot, worked at the army base in Cyprus. I think it's Akrotiri, fixing the vehicles for the British Army. So that's how my father taught himself English. And that is why my father in the 60s moved to London. And that's how he met my mum. My mum was a dressmaker in London. And that's how I exist. And he came to visit a friend in my hometown, Weston-super-Mare, near Bristol. And the rest is history. So I fix cars. I've always fixed cars my whole life. So I had to fix my wife's car. No, my daughter's car. It was my wife's car, but we gave it to my daughter. My daughter is 18. Her name is Talia. She's on her 7th test tomorrow. Oh, Tanya, you're doing your 8th. I tell you what, Tanya, seriously, the system is unfair because the little tiny things they fail my daughter on are ridiculous. My daughter's a very good driver. She drives with L plates every day with my wife. Yeah. She's a good driver. They get her for all these silly little things. So are you getting my audio? Guys, are you getting my audio? Emily said we're breaking up. Tell me if we're breaking up. I need to know. Tanya, can you hear me okay? Pat, can you hear me okay? Joanne, can you hear me okay? It should be all right, guys. There's no reason for the audio to be funny. Emily, it might be on your end. It might be on your end, okay? We don't know for definite. Deborah, can you hear me okay? So, it cuts out, it's breaking up. Oh, that's annoying. So Tanya can hear me. It shouldn't be cutting out. It shouldn't be cutting out. Everything is working fine. Let's just wait a bit longer. Otherwise, I've got to restart it all. You don't really want me to restart everything, do you? Yeah, I can see it repeating a few times. That's the internet. Shall I keep going or shall I restart? It's up to you guys, because I can just restart everything. It's up to you. Keep going or restart. What shall I do? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Before I decide to restart, I will tell you what we did today. We did a Linda Thompson morning chat. Did any of you listen to that? We did It's, oh, good. It's near my hometown, so it's near Bristol. Near Bristol. Do you know, Tanya, where are you? Where are you in the world? Tell me where you are in the world. Yeah, okay, I'm going to keep going. I don't want to restart because it messes things up. Tanya, where are you? Where are you, my dear? Hi, Debbie. I'm now watching on my TV and it's okay. For some reason, it kept cutting out. Oh, thanks, Emily. Don't worry. So we also did Anita Wood, Elvis Presley sing together. I think we did that yesterday. So what else is on here that we did? So let me switch over to Elvis Presley Fan on Keto. Let's just see what we did on there. I'm not right. Let's have a look. So yeah, Tanya, whereabouts in England are you? So Elvis Presley Fan on Keto. Please subscribe to it. Let me just show you it. Please subscribe to it. Very important to me you subscribe to it. Elvis Presley Fan on Keto. Not very focused. Please subscribe. It's important to me, guys, that you are over there as well. So on the Elvis Presley Fan on Keto, we did a dog walk. We also did a newly found Linda Thompson interview. We also did a Ginger Alden and Elvis Presley discussion. What else did we do? I think that's it. So we've been going back and forth. Oh yeah, we did do a very long Keto Carnival video that was over an hour, which I thought was brilliant. We really did discuss why it works, a beginner's guide to it. So we've been busy today. Restart it. I don't want to restart it unless everyone is having a problem. Yeah, Emily. So I'm not restarting unless everyone is having a problem, because to restart is a pain in the ass. So, Debbie, are you hearing me okay? Gravesend. Is that near London? Tanya, is that near London? Right, so what I'm going to do, guys, I've got a couple of videos I want to play you. I want to break them down, and I want to... we may have watched this a while ago. So what is, I have a channel that I don't really talk about. Yeah, you can hear. No, I'm not going to restart. I just don't think we should. Right, listen, guys. I have a channel that I keep my long videos on that YouTube don't really like me to upload. Okay? Let me just show you the channel. It's not, you know, it's only got 12 subscribers. It's just the channel I use to help me run this channel. Okay, outside London, right? Gotcha. My family are from New Cross. Are you anywhere near New Cross? My family, my parents met in New Cross in London. So we do have quite a connection to London. So this channel here, let's see if it's going to let you see it. It's just, the focus on this is so crap. Elvis Presley long lost footage. Elvis Presley long lost footage. You can subscribe if you want. Elvis Presley long lost footage. I use this channel to store my videos that I'm going to post on here. Okay? I'll type it in for you just in case you can't see it. Elvis Presley long lost footage. Right, so I use that channel. I'll just show it you one more time, if it lets me. I use it just to store my stuff on. It's not really something I need. It helps me. So on that channel, I've got this video. If you look, I've got the Elvis Aloha concert attendant, flight attendant story. Okay, and we're going to play it and we're going to discuss it. And then we're going to play a couple of other videos off my Elvis Presley long lost footage. Okay? Right, let's do it. You see it. Okay, Tanya. Right. Now, I've only watched this once. So let's watch it together, okay? Put my earphones on. I think you'll like it. It's a very interesting story about Elvis. Let's go for it.
I was a flight attendant with a major airline, and we had gone over to Hawaii, and coincidentally that we were able to be invited to the concert for that evening, and Aloha in Hawaii. And so we attended the concert. Oh, he was in his white jumpsuit, and of course with the huge red Hawaiian lei. It was striking. The stage was outstanding, and of course the atmosphere, being in the Hawaii atmosphere and the little bit of indoor type feeling. The songs, everything was wonderful, and everybody wanted, what's the next one? What's the next one? And you could have heard a pin drop. It was outstanding. And of course all of his old ones that everybody loved, and some from his previous movies. It was the greatest concert I'd been to.
So obviously we all know about the Aloha concert. Actually, we should cover it here, do more videos about the concert. But I think this is a really cute story. Let's listen, guys.
And we thought it was quite exciting, not knowing that he was going to be on our airplane coming back the next day. So when we went to check in and had our briefing, that was the first time we found out that he was returning that next day. Well, being that he had such a large staff that traveled with him, I mean, we had 14 seats up in the 747 up front, and his whole crew practically took, the whole right side. And then, of course, he reserved upstairs for the lounge upstairs, so he had that reserved and private for himself, too. I was working in the forward lounge, and so, of course, taking care of first class as well as parts of the first class and the lounge area. And I remember one of the guys came up to me and asked me if I'd like to come up and meet Elvis, and I said, certainly, I would love to. And because I sort of wanted to just stay away a little bit and give him his privacy, of course, what he deserved and all. So I said, certainly. So he said, well, come on, I'll take you up. Went upstairs because they had the upstairs.
I mean, could you imagine this happening to you guys?
There's the 747, the lounge up there, as well as first class. And was able to meet him. I was introduced to him and got to shake his hand and said, I'll never wash my hand for the next year or whatever. So that was
sweet.
Quite exciting. But it was just a great group that he was traveling with, and we just had a great time and able to just communicate and talk, and couldn't stop looking at his eyes. They were gorgeous.
You see that? Couldn't stop looking at his eyes. They were gorgeous.
And I remember seeing his necklace, and it was the lightning bolt with the diamond on it that says "Taking Care of Business."
I want one. Guys, I want a TCB necklace. We need a lightning bolt necklace. Come on, we all need to get one, don't we, guys?
Those were so great. And he told me that they were a limited edition that he had given his guys, and it just meant a very sincere thing to them. That number one, it was from Elvis, but number two, the meaning behind it. There was one other situation on the airplane that was really adorable. There was a little girl in the back, and she must have been about 10 years old. And we had the curtains closed going up to first class, but she was just bound and determined, number one, to see Elvis, or number two, to just take something that belonged to him, I guess. But she came through the curtains, and she went up to where his seat was, and his jacket was hanging over the back, and she pulled the button off his jacket, and that was going to be her souvenir. And so we tried to catch her, we tried to keep her away, but she was just bound and determined to get something that belonged to Elvis. So she walked away with her little button, and she was pleased as punch. He wasn't any different. I mean, he was just so warm and friendly, and thank yous, and may I, and he was a Southern gentleman. I mean, you could really tell that he was a Southern gentleman and raised by a great family, just because he was just so warm and friendly and polite and wonderful. I was a flight attendant with a major airline.
You see that? Warm, friendly, polite, and wonderful. You could tell she just absolutely adores him.
And we had gone over to Hawaii, and coincidentally that we were able to be invited to the concert for that evening, and Aloha in Hawaii. And so we attended the concert. Oh, he was in his white jumpsuit, and of course with the huge red Hawaiian lei. It was striking. The stage was outstanding, And of course the atmosphere, being in the Hawaii atmosphere and the little bit of outdoor, indoor type feeling.
You know that Elvis, he really prepared for that aloha. He slimmed right down, like almost the best he's ever looked for that concert. He took it very, very seriously.
The songs, everything was wonderful, and everybody wanted, what's the next one? What's the next one? And you could have heard a pin drop. It was outstanding. And of course, all of his old ones that everybody loved, and some from his previous movies. It was the greatest concert I'd been to. And we thought it was quite exciting, not knowing that he was going to be on our airplane coming back the next day. So when we went to check in and had our briefing, that was the first time we found out that he was returning that next day. Well, being that he had such a large staff that traveled with him, I mean, we had 14 seats up in the 747 up front, and his whole crew practically took, the whole right side. And then, of course, he reserved upstairs for the lounge upstairs, so he had that reserved and private for himself too. I was working in the forward lounge, and so of course taking care of first class as well as parts of the first class and the lounge area. And I remember one of the guys came up to me and asked me if I'd like to come up and meet Elvis, and I said certainly, I would love to. And because I sort of wanted to just stay away a little bit and give him his privacy, of course, what he deserved and all. So I said certainly. So he said, well, come on, I'll take you up. Went upstairs, because they had the upstairs of the 747, the lounge up there, as well as first class, and was able to meet him. I was introduced to him.
Guys, why can't we meet Elvis? It's not fair. This woman, you can tell when she speaks about Elvis, it's like, I can't even explain that, how you can completely feel that she is completely in awe of Elvis and like, can't believe this actually happened to her. She feels very lucky.
And got to shake his hand and said, I'll never wash my hand for the next year or whatever. So that was quite exciting. But it was just a great group that he was traveling with, and we just had a great time and able to just communicate and talk, and couldn't stop looking at his eyes. They were gorgeous. And I remember seeing his necklace, and it was the
So I'm playing it twice because I just think it's brilliant.
lightning bolt with the diamond on it that says taking care of business. And I thought, oh,
Yeah.
those were so great. And he told me that there were a
Beautiful.
limited edition that he had given his guys. And it just meant a very sincere thing to them.
Love
that,
it.
Number one, it was from Elvis, but number two, the meaning behind it. There was one other situation on the airplane that was really adorable. There was a little girl in the back, and she must have been about 10 years old. And we had the curtains closed going up to first class. But she was just bound and determined, number one, to see Elvis, or number two, to just take something that belonged to him, I guess. But she came through the curtains, and she went up to where his seat was, and his jacket was hanging over the back, and she pulled the button off his jacket, and that was going to be her souvenir. And so
Deborah, you
we
can.
tried to catch her. We tried.
Guys, the way she's talking and acting, her body language, her face, her smile, that's how we feel. Isn't it, guys? That's exactly how we here at Defending Elvis, Team Elvis, that's how we feel.
To keep her away, but she was just bound and determined to get something that belonged to Elvis. So she walked away with her little button, and she was pleased as punch.
Pleased as punch.
He wasn't any different. I mean, he was just so warm and friendly, and thank yous, and
love it.
May
So
I,
warm.
and
Do you see that? He was just lovely, warm, friendly, thankful, just normal, a nice guy. A nice guy. And this is why we defend him. Because his image, his reputation, how it's been portrayed, it's just so far from the truth. I just wish the way this woman is speaking about Elvis, I really wish that the world knew just how lovely Elvis was. Obviously, many do. The fans do. But I just wish everyone spoke about Elvis in this way.
he was a Southern gentleman. I mean, you could really
I
tell
agree,
that he
Pat.
was a Southern gentleman and raised by a great family.
Do you see that? He was a Southern gentleman raised by a great family. I can't put it better than that. Pat says, how can you not fall in love with Elvis? She seems lovely and joyous. Yes.
Just because he was just so warm and friendly and polite and wonderful.
Wonderful. I think that's a good word. Wonderful. Right, okay, so now let's while we're on this channel, so obviously you guys know this channel's called Elvis Presley Long Lost Footage. I use it to store my videos. I'm slowly building it up. What I tend to do is I pull the videos off this channel and play them here at Defending Elvis or over on Elvis Presley on Keto. So I tend to, so let's bring up another one. Let's have a look. Right, guys. There was one I wanted to play you with Linda Thompson. See if it's there. Linda Thompson at Graceland's. An old interview. Let's have a look. See if I can find it. An old interview. I don't think many of you would have watched this. So we're going to play it. Are we ready, guys? We're having a bit of a night of just playing some old videos, okay? Now, I don't know if any of you have seen it, but I think you'll like it. Yeah, Gladys did an amazing job raising her boy, definitely. Okay, here we go. Come on, guys, this is sweet, this is.
Hi, I'm Linda Thompson, and for the first time in too many years, I'm back at Graceland, where Elvis lived and ultimately died 29 years ago this week.
Since my baby left me.
To the world, he was the king. To me, he was the sweet Southern gentleman who swept me off my feet back in 1972. And on the 29th anniversary of his death, I'm taking Extra with me to Memphis for a private tour of Graceland and a wild walk down memory lane during my 4.5-year relationship with the one and only Elvis Presley.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Here in
Now, guys, I'm a big fan of Linda Thompson, but the truth is, they weren't really together for 4.5 years. I think they were sort of on and off. Yeah, they spent the first year together. I love Linda Thompson. I'm not going to slate her. I know that you guys have mixed views about Linda, but obviously I've got her book that Linda sent me. Linda, please come back and join us. We do read bits of this book. We read a bit this morning. So it isn't straightforward with the relationship because it is rumoured that Linda, was also seeing other people. We know Elvis was seeing other people. It was a complicated relationship in the end. There were a lot of problems, but also a lot of happiness. And I do believe that Linda helped Elvis move on from Priscilla. How many of you guys here feel that Linda helped Elvis move on from Priscilla? Because obviously the way Priscilla treated Elvis with Mike Stone was disgusting. Yeah, horrific. One of the worst things that Elvis ever had to go through. So how many of you here think that Linda, in the first year, helped Elvis move on from Priscilla?
In Memphis for Elvis Week, I got to meet with fans, fanatics,
That's true.
and old friends I haven't seen in
Yeah, David Briggs. Wasn't he the drummer? And also a bit of pianist? Is it drummer and pianist?
many years who gathered to honor his memory.
This is Elvis's housekeeper, Nancy Rooks, the
Hi,
only
Elizabeth.
living housekeeper left.
If any of you ever wondered where Elvis got his inimitable style, it's from this man, Bernard Lansky. You made him look dynamite,
Tell me
too.
about it, Dave. You better believe it.
Elvis also had unique
Guys, have any of you seen this? Because this really, for me, is the first proper time I've seen this.
style when it came to Graceland, and I was granted unprecedented access to the famous home we shared together for 4.5 years. We're here in the music room, and a little known fact is that Elvis felt he played piano better than he played guitar.
Look at Linda Thompson. Look how beautiful she is. How old is she here, guys? What do you reckon, like 50 years old, maybe older? Look at her. She's stunning. She is absolutely stunning.
As is the case with most living rooms, this room was saved for more formal occasions, like the time Elvis first met my parents. I was not nearly as relaxed then as I am now. This is the famous Jungle Room. I'm sure you've heard lots about it. Elvis and I actually went shopping, and we picked out all this furniture together, so I helped him decorate this room. But
So let me just read that. Hi. So a few of you have joined us. You've got Ledeye, Denise, Elizabeth, Karen, Pat, Emily, Josie, Debbie, Joanne, Emily, of course. Who is that? Elvis Presley Long Lost Footage. Yeah, that looks like a good channel. Karen, I think that's everyone. Now, Ledeye says, yes, Elvis is a reflection of his parents raising him right, but I believe he wanted to do right. It was his inbuilt character. I do as well. I do. I think Elvis always wanted to please everyone. He had a good heart. He was well brought up. I think he had very decent morals. Kindness was his middle name. So yeah, I love Elvis's personality. I literally love his personality. And because I run the Elvis Presley channels, I've got to know Elvis, even more deeply, because it's every day. I'm studying it every day. Right.
Please keep in mind that it was his taste I was deferring to. Oh, I know what you're thinking. I look like I don't know what I'm doing here. But in the years that I lived with Elvis, he would turn to me and say, honey, please go downstairs and make me a fried peanut butter and banana sandwich or an omelet with a pound of bacon. And he said it tasted better when I made it. And I believed him, and I would come down here at 4 in the morning and do it for him. I could do it then, I could do it now.
And I did all right with this Christmas gift I gave Elvis back in 1973.
I'm holding a very special piece of jewelry that I'm sure you've seen in photographs of Elvis in concert. I designed this Maltese cross for him with our birthstones in each heart, intertwined and brought together by a single diamond. So many memories in so little time, but thanks for taking a few moments to remember Elvis fondly with me.
Osborne. It's Elvis's beauties, Priscilla Presley, Lisa Marie, and her daughter, model Riley Keefe.
We have a rare home movie.
Go downstairs and make me a...
Right, sorry about that. My daughter just got home, who's got the driving test in the morning. So I want to play this bit. I don't want to miss it. I love looking at Linda. Look at her with her little white shorts on. She is so cool.
Fried peanut butter and banana sandwich or an omelet with a pound of bacon. And he said it tasted better when I made it. And I believed him, and I would come down here at 4 in the morning and do it for him.
Do you see that? It tasted better when she made it. Guys, would you want to make him a peanut butter and banana sandwich?
I could do it then, I could do it now.
And I did all right with this Christmas gift I gave Elvis back in 1973.
I'm holding a very special piece of jewelry that I'm sure you've seen in photographs of Elvis in concert. I designed this Maltese cross for him with our birthstones.
And I've done a video about this Maltese cross.
In each heart, intertwined and brought together by a single diamond. So many memories in so little time, but thanks for taking a few moments to remember Elvis fondly with me.
Come on, we do like to see Linda at Graceland. We love to see her there at Elvis Week. It's a shame that she wasn't there. It would have been fantastic if Linda was there for his 90th birthday celebrations. Wouldn't have that made it much nicer? Even Ginger Alden. I'm a big fan of Ginger Alden, guys. I like them both. Let me get the books up. I like both Linda and Ginger Alden. I think they're great. I really do. I'm a big fan. I know that you guys sometimes have mixed feelings about them. I like them. I like the way they talk about them. Are you off, are you, Luann? Take care, Luann. Thanks for quickly joining us. Yeah, that's Ella. Ella likes to stay with me. Princess, the mother, likes to go upstairs. Let's keep going, guys.
Osborne. It's Elvis's beauties, Priscilla Presley, Lisa Marie, and her daughter, model Riley Keefe.
We have the rare home movies of Elvis, Priscilla, and little Lisa Marie. Our Victoria Ricano has all new revelations about the king and his family in tonight's Insider interview.
You ain't nothing but...
He was by Elvis's side for the history-making day. The king met President Richard Nixon at the White House in 1970. He was next to Elvis during the entire filming on the set of Paradise Hawaiian Style. And here he is helping Presley with a necklace.
I was 12, he was 19. I kind of looked up to him. He was really cool. Before he was even a star, he was cool.
Welcome to the incredible world of Presley insider Jerry Schilling. His Hollywood Hills postmodern dream house was even bought by the king.
I just love it up here. And, yeah, it's like a little piece of Graceland.
Has Lisa Marie ever been here?
Lisa Marie's been here a lot.
Now, on the anniversary of his death, fans get a closer look of the king in Schilling's new book, Me and a Guy Named Elvis, My Lifelong Friendship with Elvis Presley.
It's a great story. It's a happy story. It's a successful story. It's just a sad ending. I lost my friend. He was 42 years old.
On horseback, in Hollywood, and in the White House. Elvis's best friend also shares intimate images of his life with the king.
I've had it in the drawer back here in my home for 35 years.
Today, Schilling is still in the king's life. Elvis's confidant opens up on the private details of Lisa Marie's wedding. Jerry Schilling knew her as a little girl. That's her in his home movies, Riding with Priscilla, when she was just a year old. Earlier this year, Jerry officiated at her Japanese wedding ceremony to Michael Lockwood.
You were at Lisa Marie's top secret wedding.
I didn't say anything to anybody about it. It was just a beautiful ceremony. Her mother was there. Michael's parents were there. Her two children were there, Benjamin and Riley. And it was the biggest honor in my life.
You ain't nothing but...
Jerry also revealed that one of the king's greatest disappointments was not being cast in A Star is Born after Barbara Streisand initially...
Obviously, we know about The Star is Born. We know the story there. Let me just pause this a minute. Okay, guys. Well, I just love... Let's see if we can play something else, yeah? Come on, let's have a look. What else can we find? Let me just have a look. Let's try this one, guys. We just watch this or not? Let's have a look.
Hi, I'm Linda Thompson, and for the
No.
first time in too many years, I'm back at Graceland.
No, not that one. We've already played that. Let's go back. Let me just go back. I just want to try and play a few old bits and bobs.
Hi, I'm Linda Thompson.
Yes, we just heard that. Right, hang on. Let me find it. Okay, I'm going to find things. Right, here we are. What we want. Your videos. There we are. So some of them are quite short. There was one that I really liked, where it showed Elvis rehearsing a little bit. Here it is. Here it is. Let's have what you'll like this, guys. This is pretty cool. It's very short.
Lord Almighty, I feel my temperature rising. Higher, higher, it's burning through to my soul. Girl, 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 you gonna set me on fire.
Love it, guys. Love it.
Brain is flaming, I don't know which way to go.
So I stumbled on these guys. Seriously, I stumbled on all these little videos. And what I tend to do is I put them onto this channel that's called Elvis Presley Long Lost Footage. And then I bring them here and then we can go through them. It's just a little trick I play. Because if I upload them to my channel, YouTube don't like it. So these long sort of videos, YouTube aren't happy when I post them. But YouTube don't mind it if I review them and break them down like we're doing now.
I feel my temperature rising.
Oh, I love this. Guys, isn't this just fantastic? I love this.
Tell me I'm flaming, must be 109. I'm burning, burning, burning and nothing can cool me.
So guys, what year do you think this is? Does it say? No, it doesn't say. Come on, what year do you think this is? 74? What do you think, guys?
I just might turn to smoke, but I feel fine.
Yeah.
Kisses lift me higher, like the sweet song on the fire. Light my morning sky, burning.
Woo. Yes.
It's coming through.
Guys, how good is that? How good is that? I could play that again and again. Whoa. Love it. So, guys, So good, so good. Right, so let's go to the next one. I've got a few. Let me have a look. Here we go. It's Ginger Alden. Ginger Alden, right. You ready, guys?
It's a wide-eyed young girl from a small town in Tennessee who was both frightened and flattered to be introduced to her lifelong idol, Elvis Presley. And it turned into a fairy tale romance. The world of Elvis was one of exotic cars and unscheduled jet trips to Hawaii, beautiful clothes and beautiful people, and endless excitement. At 4 a.m. on August 16th, they finalized their wedding plans. 10 hours later, Ginger found Elvis dead. Tell me about the last time that you saw Elvis, the last day that you were with him.
The last day.
He was getting ready to go on a concert, right?
Yes, and he was...
So we did a bit of a breakdown on this I think this morning on, I think we did it here, but let's try and watch it together this time. We can all comment. Please give me your comments, how you feel about this. Now, we've got mixed emotions, haven't we? Yeah? So some people think the relationship was very genuine, even though it was very short-lived, 8-9 months. Yeah? Some people think they were going to go on to get married at Christmas, maybe even have children. Some people think that the whole thing was just not real, too short, that she was too young, that Elvis wasn't ready to get married because he had many complications happening at the time, obviously with the release of the book. Where is it? Obviously with the release of this book, Elvis, what happened? And then you had Priscilla demanding more money with the divorce settlement, the second divorce settlement. And you had Elvis's health was seriously spiraling in the wrong way. His prescribed medication had become a real problem. So do you guys think they were going to get married or not? Leave it in the comments, please, guys.
He was in a good mood and nervous because of a tour. And he mentioned something to me about playing racquetball, and I said, yes, I wanted to. So he called his cousin, Billy Smith, and Joe, and...
But of course, this is sad, guys. She's telling us about the last night, yeah? So all the interviewers are always going to want to know this. And I think this interview is quite soon after Elvis passed. I think within a year of him passing.
We went out back to where he has a racquetball court, and I didn't play racquetball. I sat, there's a glass partition where you can watch whoever is playing racquetball, and I watched him, and he would do funny things and try and see if we were laughing. And then he seemed to be getting a little tired then, so he came out and he sat down by me, and he didn't go back out and play then, but he got up and got on a bicycle exerciser, and he was on.
Did you hear that? He got up on a bicycle exerciser. He was getting ready for the concert. He was getting ready to go. She's said many times in many interviews that the way Elvis has been portrayed is very unfair, very unfair. And I think even in this book, she makes it very clear that Elvis was not as unhappy as people think. He was not as big and bloated as people think, and that he was looking forward to the future. And she says they would have lots of fun, and the portrayal, the negative portrayal of Elvis after he passed is completely wrong. Completely wrong. This is what Ginger says. So, which I like that.
On that for about 3 minutes. And then it was early morning, and we were going to go back upstairs, and he was going to go to sleep so he could get ready for his tour.
This was up in his bedroom?
Yes.
And that was the last time that you saw him?
Yes.
What'd you say?
The last time I saw him.
Any conversation? Yeah, any conversation?
Well, he had...
So quite a question, isn't it? What is the last thing you said to Elvis? We all know, because we've all read it a million times, but let's hear Ginger say it.
He tried to go to sleep, and he stood up one time, and he had a book in his hand. I don't know the name of it, but it was a religious book. And he turned around and looked at me, and he said he was going to go in the bathroom and read. And I said, okay. And then that was when he walked into the bathroom.
So let me read Karen's comment. I'm not keen on Ginger. I don't believe they would have got married. Elvis was already arranging to take another girl on tour. Ginger had another boyfriend that she liked the idea of being with Elvis. So can I ask you, Karen, who I've heard about this other girl. Who is it? Who was the other girl? Does anyone know?
And then you left, went downstairs? Or
No, I stayed there. I'd fallen asleep there, and I stayed there. And I was going to get ready and come home later that day and pack to go on the tour.
And then when did you see him next?
That was when I walked in. I noticed, of course, he had been in there for some time. And I
About
called
what
his
time is this now?
This was 2:20, about 2:30.
Okay, so
afternoon.
about, what, 6 hours had passed?
It must have been about 6 hours.
And then you went back into the room, and do you remember what you saw?
That was when I went to the bathroom, and that was when I found him.
I imagine that must have been a shocking experience for you, obviously.
Yes, and it was, of course, much worse because he had just been discussing the wedding plans that same morning.
See, I mean, obviously that's, how can I say, it's hard to say this, but she's so young. Like, she's barely 21, yeah? Don't forget, just meeting Elvis alone, being in Elvis's life, in that world, that celebrity lifestyle, is very overwhelming, yeah? Obviously, you've got all the Memphis Mafia, you've got going to the different concerts, and, of course, Graceland, but we know that she didn't actually live at Graceland. She chose not to. But I imagine my daughter being 21, and it was a lot to take on, wasn't it, guys? So then to find him dead, God rest his soul, we miss him, we love him. How do you absorb that at that age? 21. So she sat there, and she's answering his questions about his last night, his last movements, his last words. And then she quickly goes, oh yes, and he had asked me to marry him at Christmas. Yeah. I just find all of it very awkward. I'll be honest with you, I'm not 100% convinced that Elvis, I don't want to sound rude because I really like Ginger, but I'm not convinced 100% about all of it. It's a bit, but I think Ginger is great. I love how she talks about Elvis. I think her book is brilliant. I don't want to slate Ginger. What I'm trying to say is she was 21. That answers a lot of things to me. You're not really ready in life to deal with marrying the most famous man on the planet and then having this big wedding with kids and everything that goes with that. So I just find it all a bit, I don't know. It's hard to get my head around it. Yeah. I want to sound respectful, but it's, I don't know. It's almost larger than life, what she's talking about. I can't remember her name. Billy Smith has mentioned her a few times. Ginger didn't want to go on tour and he asked Billy to arrange it. Yeah. And I know that Billy, you know, 40 years ago, I've got videos of Billy. He didn't like Ginger. Yeah. I think he may have changed his tune, but Billy in the old days didn't like Ginger very much. Shall I see if I can, I'm not trying to slate Billy because I really like Billy. Yeah. I love Billy. I love Joe, but Billy was not a big fan of Ginger. Let me just see if I can find it. I've done a few videos about it. See if it comes up. See if it's going to come up. Where are we? Here we go. I think this is it. Okay. Now, I'm not trying to slate Billy. I love Billy. I love Joe. Okay. I just want to show you something.
Ginger came on the scene. Ginger is a very pretty woman, and she was young. Here's a 22-year-old that's got a lifestyle that she likes, and here's a 42-year-old that's done everything in the world and not too much interested in him anymore. She acts like she don't want to be around sometimes. I said, Ginger likes showing you all the fact that she's going with you. She wants her family to meet you, her friends to meet you, and she enjoys nightclubs, pool parties. In order to hold her, you've got to go to her lifestyle and not so much expect her to do on yours. experienced the whole year of him and Ginger, and I am sick to the bone of it. And I told my wife, I said, I am sick of it. I said, I wish he would ditch her, get somebody else. I said, but nothing you say seems to change his mind. I just about had it. I said, I just can't have it. She said, look, I never will forget that because it stood out. She said, just bear with him. She said, because, you know, we might not have him long. Ginger came on the scene.
So I made that well over a year ago. Let me get you guys back on. So, you know, the truth is, let me just get it back on, guys, so I can see you guys. What did you think of that, guys? What did you think of that? I just want to get you guys back on so I can see your messages. Right, that should do it. Right, here we go. I just want to get you guys back on. So let me just get your messages. So, guys, it's awkward for me because obviously I'm a big fan of Billy. I've been told that as time has passed on, Billy's fine with Ginger now. But you can tell at the time, in 1977, it wasn't straightforward. Yeah? Elvis would have told Billy what was going on with them, always fighting. And I've heard about the fighting. So I'm a little bit, you know, were they really going to actually go and get married at December? I'm a bit like that with that. But I don't want to sound disrespectful to Ginger because she's lovely. She's lovely. Let's keep listening, guys.
What went on in the house afterwards?
Well, of
A lot
course.
of confusion?
Oh, yes. It was something so unbelievable. People were all in different rooms praying, and it was just like something that couldn't be happening.
How has that affected your life?
It's just so difficult to come from that level. I feel like what Martin Luther King said, I've been to the top of the mountain, and I'm just trying to adjust now, but it's very difficult for me.
I mean, she's beautiful, isn't she? She's so beautiful. You completely understand why Elvis was smitten with her. But so I just, guys, 21, Elvis Presley.
Tomorrow night, some happier memories. Ginger recalls her first date with Elvis and some of the things they did together in a romance that, well, was fated to end all too soon. Jerry?
Yes. Coming up next is ready with the third in his series on Elvis Presley and the girl who planned to marry him.
Jerry, Ginger Alden, the girl Elvis planned to marry, showed me a photograph of her with Elvis Presley, which she said had not been seen publicly before. It was taken in Hawaii.
So, let me just read Josie's comment. Ginger liked the going out like most do her age. She was going through what Elvis had already been through and probably caused a lot of fighting. Yeah, I've read this, that she still wanted to go out and do what girls do in their 20s, in their teens. Louis has made it very obvious in one of the documentaries. Yeah, we've done, you know, we've spoken about Ginger quite a few times, haven't we, guys? So that Billy still mentions the same thing, says he's nothing against her, but there was a lot of arguments. I mean, even Lisa said about the fallings out between them. Yes, in the book. Very good point, Karen. You're right. Karen, it's in the book. Lisa wasn't keen on Ginger, was she? She wasn't keen. I know that Ginger did a statement on her Facebook page talking about what was written in the book From Here to the Great Unknown. So it's complicated, guys.
Favorite place to work or play? She had another unusual photo. The recruiting officer at the time of Elvis's induction into the Army was her father. I asked Ginger a question on behalf of millions of American women.
What is a date with Elvis Presley like? What do you do?
Now, this is a good question. What is a date with Elvis Presley like? What do you do? Let's see what she says.
Well, it's very different. I went up to see him, and he had been telling me about his Ferrari, this car that he had. And then he asked me if I would like to go for a ride in his Stutz Blackhawk. And I said yes. And then after a while, he said to go on a ride in his small plane, the Lockheed Jetstar, around the city. So the plane was just beautiful when I first saw it because I had never seen anything like that. And the pilot, Milo High, was very, very nice. And I sat down, and after a few moments, Elvis said, "Everybody hold it." And he had this kind of smile on his face, and he said, "I'll be back in a minute." And he got off the plane and jumped back in his Stutz. And he must have gone to Graceland because he returned. And he said, "We're going to Las Vegas." And he'd gotten pajamas for everyone. And he asked me if it would be all right, and I was in such shock. I said, "Yes, I'll call my mother when I get back." So
your first official date, instead of a spin around Memphis, you went to Vegas.
Right.
What'd you do in Vegas?
And this is in the, we actually read this in the book. This morning when I did a live stream, we did read, sorry, wrong book. We read the little section in the book that she did that.
this was really fun. Everybody slept.
I bet you
when we
did,
got there. We
Denise.
just stayed there a half of a day and returned the next day. Everybody was so tired from the trip.
When did Elvis propose, and how did he propose?
It was on January the 26th, one afternoon, and I had been up at Graceland, and he had been in the other room. He always had things going on around me that I never knew about, and he took my hand and took me into the lounge area of his bathroom, and I sat down in a black chair, and he got down on his knees, and then he asked me, he just said, "I'm asking you, will you marry me?" And of course I said yes. It was just, it was also beautiful.
And then what?
What do you reckon, guys? Did it happen or not? Yes or no? Did this happen? Say it in your comments.
What were your plans? When were you going to be married? When was the announcement going to be made?
He was going to make the announcement when he played here the Saturday night. He was going to have his concert here in Memphis from the stage. And he had been discussing the type of dress. He said that he had had some people working on one in Los Angeles, and that it would have small rosebuds with little gold threads through it.
I was waiting
and he
for
wanted
Giovanni
me to wear
to get and
glass
said it was
slippers
you.
and a little tiara on my head. And he said, "It's got to be the wedding of the century."
Tomorrow night, Ginger talks about Elvis's reaction.
You with Ginger Alden, the girl who planned to marry Elvis Presley before his tragic death. By the way, Chuck, last week's Ginger mother
finishing at
filed
9
a
o'clock, so
suit
we've got
against the
15
Presley
minutes.
estate, trying to get it to pay her $40,000 in mortgage money because she said Elvis had promised to do that before he
so
died.
let's just-
Planned to marry Elvis Presley before his...
So let me just slightly rewind this. Now, these, you know, when I get I get a lot of comments from Elvis fans, obviously Team Elvis, and these are the things that upset the fans, yeah? So what he's just mentioned now about the money stuff. Let's listen to it again.
Tomorrow night, Ginger talks about Elvis's reaction.
You with Ginger Alden, the girl who planned to marry Elvis Presley before his tragic death. By the way, Chuck, last week's Ginger...
Yeah, so with the, I've got to say I'm 50-50 with if they would have got married or not. I'm very like...
Ginger mother filed a suit against the Presley estate, trying to get it to pay her $40,000 in mortgage money because she said Elvis had promised to do that before he died.
Yeah, so it's a funny one, isn't it, guys? Because the problem with Ginger saying that, it's almost like she's trying to have a last grab at money. Now, I believe Elvis would have offered to pay it. I do, because he was so generous. Yeah, he was always generous to the families of his girlfriends, the parents and the brothers and sisters. Yeah, we know how generous Elvis was to Priscilla's brother, how generous Elvis was to Linda's brother. So I do believe he probably did offer to pay it, but I still see there's a grab for money, isn't there? There's a grab for money after he passed. Some even say that when Elvis passed, everyone was grabbing all the jewelry out of Graceland. That's what we hear, guys.
He furnished the family with a home and a swimming pool, and now the mother wants it all paid for. Elvis Presley's generosity was well known. He didn't advertise it, but the people who benefited from it did.
Karen, I understand.
Ginger Alden, the girl he planned to marry, was one of those. The 12-carat ring on her finger was a gift from Elvis. So were the expensive cars parked around her home in Memphis. Elvis was very good to a lot of people, and Ginger now...
So you see that. So were the expensive cars parked around her home in Memphis. And this upsets the fans, doesn't it? Because Elvis didn't buy her one car. He bought her cars with an S, a plural. So I understand it. But, you know, you're a 21-year-old girl and Elvis is offering you everything. Money, cars, jewelry, holidays, you name it. I'll pay for everything. Are you going to say no? Seriously, 21 years old. Are you going to say no? So it's complicated, guys.
...feels that some of them were less than good to him.
There's been a lot of things said about him. Former bodyguards that were close to him said he was on drugs, lived a life of a...
Right, so I'm very interested to see what she says here about the prescribed medication. He's obviously used the word drugs. Now, we know, as fans, we've done our research. We know Elvis was very sick and had been sick for years. Yeah, obviously the insomnia and the pain and the stomach problems, the liver problems, the lung problems, the heart problems, the glaucoma. There are just so many things that were wrong with Elvis. Now, I would have thought Elvis, being a very proud man, probably didn't tell Ginger hardly any of it. Yeah? Why would Elvis want to tell Ginger about all his medical problems that he'd had for years? So let's hear how she answers this question.
Hermit, very emotional person. What can you tell us about these things? Is there any truth to any of this?
No, I never met the three bodyguards, so I don't, of course, don't know them, but I can only go by what Elvis told me. And the book did upset him, but before it came out,
Guys, that book infuriated him. I know, I've read so many different accounts of it now. That book drove him mad. But we all know that when he had the conversation with Red West, that Red West secretly recorded, which he shouldn't have done, I definitely 100%, you know that I think this book should never have been written. No way. Friends don't betray friends. I don't care if they're famous or not. You don't betray your friends. Yeah? So it did drive him mad. But Elvis, in that conversation with Red West, was really polite, friendly, helpful, offered help, spoke to Red West in a very kind way, a very forgiving way, I think. And Red West should not have recorded it. So there you go, guys.
He told me the only reason that the book was upsetting him was because it wasn't the content, it was the principle.
Yeah, so Denise says, it's amazing when you've got money, how everyone hangs around you. Vicky Clausen, that's a new name. Ginger wasn't that into him. Lisa quoted that he didn't like yet. Vicky, it's in the book. Welcome, Vicky. Welcome to Defending Elvis Presley. Welcome to Team Elvis. Hi, Caroline. Yeah, Caroline, where have you been hiding? Emily, exactly, not trying to get money. You say you were promised before she died. Welcome back, Caroline. We love to see you.
Because he had done so much for the bodyguards' families and things of that nature. And for them to turn and do something like that, that was what I think really got to him and hurt him.
How about the accusations that were in the book? They were all untrue? They'd just taken small incidents and blown them up out of proportion?
Good question. How about the accusations they said in the book? Now, chapter 1 in this book is pretty damning. Now, we've listened to Dave Hebler recently on an interview. We've covered it ourselves. I have messaged Dave Hebler. I know that he watches our show. He did reply to me. He did say that it was Steve Dunleavy. So Steve Dunleavy is obviously the guy that helped write this book. He did say that he felt, this is what Dave Stanley said to us. No, sorry, Dave Hebler said to us that he felt the whole book was sensationalized much more than they were told. They feel ripped off. This is how Red West and Sonny and Dave felt. They felt ripped off. They felt that they said many, many good things about Elvis, but the book focused on all the negative sensationalism to help sell the book. So this, so Dave blames the publishers. Yeah. I understand what Dave is saying, but no offense, you still shouldn't have been involved in the writing of that book. I really think this book should never have been written. I also think all three should have clearly apologized after a few decades have passed. I believe Red, Sonny and Dave should have shown regret, said sorry, shown remorse, apologized to Lisa, apologized to the family. I think that's the least they could have done. You don't write a book about your friend. None of us here would write a book about our friend. We wouldn't do it, would we? Yeah? For money, for greed, for revenge, for jealousy. Who knows what the reasons were? It shouldn't have happened. And I would love it if Dave Hebler said sorry. I would love it. Elvis deserves that. Lisa deserves that. The family deserves that. Riley, Finley and Harper deserve an apology for this book. The last surviving member, Dave Hebler, we would love to see you apologise. I don't think Dave should be punished 50 years later. I think he's had enough punishment. Dave has had a lot of punishment. He's had a lot of hate. Every day since this book was written and released 2 weeks before Elvis died, I think that when Elvis died, 2 weeks after that book was released, was a massive shock to Red, Sonny and Dave. Surely deep down they do regret it. Surely Dave Hebler, in case you watch my show, Dave, because I know you said you've watched it before, I really hope you do regret it. I really hope one day you can find it in yourself to apologise. I do understand your point about it being sensationalised. I do understand that. I understand the publishers focusing on the negative stuff to sell the book, because they ultimately, the publishers and Steve Dunleavy wanted money, but so did you. This is the problem, Dave. So did you. So there is a time to say sorry, and now's it. Now's it. I don't want people to punish Dave Hebler. He's an old man in his 80s. Same with Mike Stone. I don't want Mike Stone to get punished. He's in his 80s. He's an old man. But say sorry. Show regret. Apologise to the families. Apologise to your own families, because this must have affected their own families as well. So that's my views, guys. There was wrong on both sides. Elvis was going to hire them back. Yeah. Now, Vicky, I agree that there was wrong on both sides. But come on. You don't write a book about your friends. You don't, no matter what goes on, you don't write a book about your friends. I really believe that. And I do believe, so I'm a huge fan, but Elvis, Vicky, I'm a huge fan, but Elvis had an addiction. I agree. I agree that he was addicted to some of his prescribed medication. But if you really do some research and really understand just how unwell Elvis was, and the serious insomnia he had, the serious constipation, the lung problems, the liver problems, the glaucoma, there's possible that he even had arthritis. He needed steroids for his constipation. When you really understand the pain and discomfort that Elvis was in, he needed dozens of pills. He could only turn to his doctor, his nurses, his pharmacist. What would you do? I say this to Vicky. What would you do if you were suffering and in pain, in discomfort? You can't fix yourself. You have to turn to the doctor, to the nurses, to the pharmacist. You're trying to fix yourself. You're desperate, so you're trying all different medications. Yes, many of them are addictive. Many of them were addictive. You can't sleep. So you're taking very strong sleeping tablets. You have to get up and go and perform 2 or 3 times a day in Vegas. You need to wake up. You take something to wake up. You take something to give you a bit of energy to perform. Then after your performance, you want to relax. So you take a sedative to relax. And then you've got to do it all again. 3 shows a day, 2, 3 shows a day. then you want to go to sleep. You take some sleeping tablets. So yes, Elvis was definitely addicted to many of the things he took, but he had no choice. He was a very sick man. Elvis didn't want to just get stoned and high off his face. Elvis was desperate. He felt like he was going to die. His life was slipping away from him. Yeah, he took a lot of tablets. He had no choice. Who was going to fix him? In the 70s, what do when you have medical problems? You take a pill. You go to your doctor. What else can you do? What else could Elvis do? He had so many things going wrong with him. It was take a pill or suffer. Take a pill or be in pain. Take a pill or not sleep. Take a pill or not have energy to perform. So yes, he was addicted. He was addicted, definitely. But he had no choice. Come on, guys. How many of us here have taken medication, have taken sleeping tablets, have taken painkillers, have taken things like I had ulcerative colitis before I started doing keto. I needed steroids. I had to take steroids until I cured myself. Yeah. So it was a very desperate time. A very sick man. Elvis couldn't understand why his body was letting him down, why his body was falling apart. He didn't understand that he may have inherited it from his grandparents, from who were first cousins, his mother, yeah, his father. His father had serious heart problems. Elvis didn't understand that many of the problems he was having were inherited. So it's complicated, guys. But I will never accept that he was a drug addict. I would never accept that he was just taking drugs to get off his face. Now, towards the end, the painkillers, the sleeping tablets, the sedatives, the uppers, it got complicated. It got very messy. Elvis became very unwell. But if you look at the pictures of Elvis in Hawaii, I think it was in March, he's slimming out. His arms are thin. His legs are thin. He's starting to get back to normal. So I like to think that right at the end, Elvis was trying to make a difference. Like she already said, that he was on his exercise bike the last night before he died. Elvis was trying to get ready for the up-and-coming tour that was about to start. So Elvis nearly died taking the lethal drug. Yeah, I know. I've read all the books. Vicky, I've read all the books. But this man is in serious pain. Serious pain. You look up what Demerol does. Yeah, you look it up what it does. Elvis was suffering more than you could even imagine. Pure pain, pure discomfort, no energy, couldn't sleep. This is one of the most famous men. All of his concerts were sold out. He was expected to do at least 2 shows a day, sometimes 3. So you got to think about it. You got to put yourself in his shoes. Yeah, what he faced every day. His biggest battle, Elvis's biggest battle at the end, was to get through the day. Right, how do I get through today? Not tomorrow, today. And there was only one way, with the help of prescribed medication. He had no choice. He had no choice. And when you have been taking medications for a time, you do take more to get the same course. You need 2 tablets instead of 1. You need 4 tablets instead of 2. It goes on and on. Remember, when you're in pain and you're desperate, you will do anything to stop that pain. If you want to sleep and you're desperate to sleep because you're so exhausted, and Elvis was exhausted because he was overworked. We all know he was overworked. You want to sleep. You want to sleep. Then you wake up the next day. You've got so many things to do. You are responsible for hundreds of people to pay their wages, their salaries. You take something to wake you up, to get you through the day so you can pay the bills. See, so it's complicated, guys. His body became immune to the medication. That's Emily. 2 to 3 shows a day is too much. I agree. And Colonel Tom Parker is guilty of that as well. But also Elvis felt that he had to. Remember, Elvis loved the fans. So he knew the fans had bought tickets. He wanted to keep them happy. He wanted to keep them happy. So he did the performances. He gave it his best shot. His last performances were amazing. Were amazing. For a man so unwell, so heavily medicated. I don't think doctors back then knew what was really wrong with him. There was too much wrong with him. There was so many different things. So I understand that, Josie. Caroline, see? Oh, heck yes. Come on. Even now in 2025, I've experienced this. This is why I'm on the carnivore diet. I'm on the keto diet. Because whenever I went to my doctors, because I had problems, stomach problems, they just gave me pills, steroids, pills. That's all they do. If I went to a doctor now, said, oh, I'm feeling down, you know, I've got anxiety, he would give me a pill. That's what he would do. Oh, here you go, off you go, bye. Doctors give you pills. And in the 70s, it was 10 times worse. 10 times worse. Remember, Dr. Nick was putting placebos in Elvis's medication to try and reduce the amount he was taking. Yeah? So Dr. Nick wasn't all bad. There's two sides to it. Let's have a look. Vicky, a medical back in the 1970s probably wasn't very thorough as he had serious illnesses. He sure did. Elvis had no choice without the medication he took. He believed his doctor and trusted him. He had a lot of health problems and was always in pain. Yes, Elizabeth, you're not going to change that. That is it. That is it. He was always in pain. I'm still on medication and they don't work the same after you've been taking them for a while. Yes, you're right. Karen, you're right. Hi, Lasika. Addiction to medicines didn't exist those days. Yeah, people weren't aware of the side effects. Yeah? In the 1970s, you didn't really know what was going to happen. Doctors always prescribed medications for everything. I know a lot of people who became addicted and it was always for medical conditions. I know people that are addicted. I know people that take Prozac and antidepressants. They are addicted to them. They can't function without them. If they miss them, if they don't take them for a few days, they get sick and depressed. These tablets don't cure you. They numb you. I say this to my wife about other people. These uppers don't cure you. They numb you. That's not good enough. They're a temporary fix. Joanne, Elvis fans loved him and we don't like when they talked. They're going to be out there talking because that's how they still receive. Now, this is what I've learned. Hi, Karen. This is what I've learned. That doesn't matter what you tell people. The people that have made up their mind that Elvis was a drug addict, that it was Elvis's fault, that the marriage with Priscilla broke up. They've made their mind up. You're not going to change their mind. They think he's a drug addict. They think he was the one that was shagging everything. They don't believe that Priscilla was unfaithful. They still treat Priscilla as if she was his wife when he died. It's just so wrong. Elvis has been completely portrayed incorrectly by millions of people. It's so unfair. There's so much more to it. It's very sad that we here, we're just a tiny little Elvis channel defending Elvis Presley. We're tiny. There isn't that many channels that defend Elvis. You'll be surprised how few there are. You've got Presley Mania, you've got Shauna, you've got Rare Elvis Photos. Who else? You've got Hidden Minds. Who else? Who else is defending Elvis? I would say now, many channels say to people that defending Elvis is ridiculous, that Elvis doesn't need defending. I obviously disagree with that. So the portrayal of Elvis is wrong and unfair. The more research people do to understand why Elvis needed so much medication, the better. The better. So let's have a look. So Karen, Elvis was too young to have so many problems as he did. Yeah. And now that we're older, because I'm 57, many of you are in your 50s, 60s and 70s here. 42 is a baby. I remember what I was doing at 42. It's so young. It's so young. And he died. So sad. So he wasn't addicted in the real sense of the word. He was sick. Yes, thank you, Lasika. That is what I'm trying to say to Vicky. Hi all. I don't know how Elvis managed with all the health problems and keep going as he did. He was Superman. I've got chronic genetic liver problems. The problems that alone cause is exhausting. Oh, Sherry, I send you love. I understand. You're fighting a losing battle. Elvis was fighting a losing battle. Of course, I'm always going to recommend keto diet because it helped me, but it's a losing battle, isn't it, guys? In my opinion, the medicine wasn't working because its body was already used to. Yeah. It definitely wasn't working. He was getting worse. This wasn't fixing him. This was getting him through the day. Just about. He almost died many times. Yeah? Emily, I know about addiction. I was on Xanax for 35 years. Emily, I hope you're off them now. Emily, are you off them now? Thank you for sharing that. That's a very private thing you've shared with us. Thank you, Emily. He couldn't take care of physiological issues. He didn't know, did he? He tried. You know, we know that Elvis had the book that explained what each pill did, but Elvis didn't understand the side effects. He didn't understand the side effects. So why did he say he was going to come off all the drugs to Larry and he was going to get healthy? Because he was, right, Vicky, because you mean Larry Geller. Now, I love Larry Geller. Yeah, I love Larry Geller. I've read a lot of things about Larry. Larry has even spoken to me on Facebook before. Yeah. Now, I know quite a lot about Larry. Okay. Now, Larry has very rose-tinted views on Elvis. The truth is, Elvis had got to a point where he was really, bearing in mind it's 1977, where really no one really knew what to do. It was so complicated, so complex. No one really knew how to help Elvis. They were trying to reduce his medication with the placebos. There was no fix. You know, Larry was a good friend to Elvis, but Larry sort of disappeared for a while, didn't he? He wasn't always around. So it ain't, I wish it was straightforward, Vicky, honestly. Put that right, so then you take some more. Yeah. He was worked like a robot machine and he was only human. That's true, Karen. But I also feel with, well, the things I've read and the interviews I've seen, he wanted to do the concerts to keep the fans happy, to pay the staff. A lot of people relying on Elvis. So he would work hard, pay the staff, keep their fans happy. The fans had bought tickets. Elvis made sure that he kept the price of the concert tickets cheap for the fans. He wanted the fans to get a good deal right till the end. Elvis now would be disgusted at the cost of the entry fee to get in Graceland. Elvis would be horrified. If Elvis knew how much Gracelands were charging to go into Graceland, he would be horrified. Yeah, Vicky, saying and doing are two different things. Very true. Now, no offense, Vicky, you know, I respect all opinions. You're very welcome here to share your opinions with us. Yeah. I was in the hospital and they gave me Demerol and it blocked my airways. Thank God my sister came in the room. Oh my God, Joanne. It's so sad, isn't it? I know, even me, if I went to the doctor now for anything, if I said to the doctor, my hand hurts, he'd be like, have a pill. Yeah? It's wrong. It's still happening today in 2025. I'm sorry, I got to go. Oh, bye, Led-Eye. Thank you very much for joining us. You're very welcome. Billy Smith was replacing the tabs with sugar. Why was he doing that? Because they were trying to wean him off the medication. They were trying to help him. I know pain. I was up all night with heel pain. Until 5:30 a.m. that morning. Elvis probably couldn't sleep due to his pain. Karen, definitely. Karen, I feel so sorry that you're having this pain. I had a heel pain. Karen, just between you and me, I had a heel pain and I changed my shoes and that fixed me. I added a bit of a heel. Yeah. Just a little bit. And it did work. It did work. So try it, Karen. Yeah. Yeah, it's Joanne. You're so lucky your sister came in. Vicky, he has trying to cut Elvis down, but Billy said Elvis didn't get that feeling. He would know something was going on. Yes, I've read this. Elvis knew when his medication was being reduced. Now, we say that feeling. Of course, we know, come on, if you take enough painkillers, you feel a bit stoned. We know that, but come on. I've taken tramadol before. Have you heard of tramadol? I think it was, what was it for? There was a reason. I think it might be I had really bad toothache. And I took tramadol and I was floating. I was floating like, woo, tramadol, yeah? I only took one, but it kept me up all night. I couldn't sleep. I didn't like it. It did get rid of the pain. But I didn't like how it felt. I felt out of control. I was a bit floaty. I couldn't sleep. So I didn't like it. I know people who take them too. Yeah. Thanks, Elizabeth. She would have been mine too. God, let's have a look. That is what I used to think. You changed my mind. I just didn't know anything else. Oh, thank you, Caroline. The more that we research, the more we realise that how Elvis is portrayed is not fair. Why did he have the bouts of coming off them if he needed them? I just think that's pretty normal. I just think it's a bit like a smoker, isn't it? Or now they're all on the vapes, aren't they? You try and get yourself off stuff that you know is bad for you. Your gut feeling, your inner true self knows when you're doing something wrong. Elvis knew what he was doing was wrong. Elvis knew he was over-medicating. Yeah, Elvis knew when he was in the wrong. He had a good heart. And his inner voice was always hoping that he would get better and that he would come off medication. God bless Elvis. He was a real hero with all his health problems. I could cry for him. I know how many meds I'm on and don't know what to give you. Constant chronic pain. Pain is horrific, yeah. I understand, Cherie. Thank you for sharing that. Elvis knows what he wanted through everybody. It's not fair at all what Elvis went through in his life. It's not fair because many of the problems the medical problems that Elvis had, chronic, definitely his twisted colon, his constipation. Elvis had severe constipation, severe. He needed steroids, seriously strong steroids, yeah? Elvis, let's have a look. Elvis was in so much pain, you can't imagine the pressure that he was under, knowing how he had to keep going for people that were relying on him. God bless Elvis, says Teresa. Deborah, I totally understand. Yeah, see, Cherie, everyone's there for you. I'm trying to catch up a bit, guys, because I've got to go to bed now. I'm going to have to leave to pick up my son. Oh, thanks, Caroline. Oh, thank you. Caroline, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. You have no escape from anything that is genetic. It creeps up on you. You are borrowed time. Thank you, Emily. My sister is the same. Thank God for my kids. Don't have the gene. I understand, Sherry. I understand. Elvis wouldn't like how much people had to pay at Graceland. Definitely not. Definitely not. Elvis didn't want to let anybody down. 100%. Elvis always put himself last. He always put everyone else in front of him. Everyone else was more important. He always put himself last. I've always thought that. Yeah, and many people talk about Elvis's diet and the way he ate. Of course, that would have had a major impact. Yeah, keto would have helped him. I still think even now, when you guys are talking about medical problems, keto could help you. Look up keto, K-E-T-O. Obviously, on our other channel, Elvis Presley Fan on Keto, our other channel, we discuss this. We discuss health problems on our other channel. So please go over and subscribe, guys. We're happy to help. I've had the feeling myself I used to take tramadol. Yeah, I mean, I've hardly ever taken it, but Karen, you know, it's not good, is it? My ex-daughter-in-law is addicted to tramadol. My mum used to take it. It's not good. It's not good. It's bad news. Stay away from tramadol. Elvis did try speed. Said he didn't like the feeling of it. Apparently he was clean for weeks before Aloha if he needed them that bad. I've read all the stuff about how much he prepared for Aloha. Come on, it was the biggest thing that had ever happened. Yeah. Obviously, we know he slimmed down. I've read he was taking diet tablets as well. But I've also read that the day after the concert finished, he went back to his medication. So I'm not trying to make Elvis out to be an angel. I'm just saying we can't ignore the complications that he had, the chronic illnesses he had. We can't just ignore it. We can't go, oh, you know, he did inherit serious problems. Liver, lung, heart, colon. Serious things. He couldn't even breathe properly come the end. There was a reason for it. You can't just blame the medication. His body was falling apart. They pass you from pillar to post, Louis. You've got to find your own way to solve your health issues like you did, Louis. Thank you, Cherie. Yes, tramadol, give the smart, being away. Now, Cherie, I was very unwell. Yeah. And you're right. I did fix myself. I did. The doctors wanted to remove part of my colon, give me a colostomy bag and shove me full of steroids. And I said, no, I'm not doing it. This is how I found carnivore diet, keto diet. This is why it means so much to me that we run the other channel on YouTube, Elvis Presley Fan on Keto. And I actually think every one of you here that have mentioned health problems could be helped by keto. I really believe that. But that's not for here. Yeah. I was taking tramadol for tattooing. It's very good to kill pain of tattooing. But next day you have hangover because of these pills. I just found I couldn't sleep on them. Couldn't sleep. I only took one. But it's hard giving up the drinking and smoking. But I managed it. Oh, well done, Denise. I was a smoker. Denise, I smoked until I was about 32. And then I gave up. So I've been a non-smoker for 25 years. 25 years, a long time. I don't really drink alcohol. Sometimes. Hardly ever. Don't really touch alcohol. I will on a special occasion, yeah? Right, Emily, your niece is a tattooist in Cyprus. That's good. What part of Cyprus, Emily? I'm from Limassol and Paphos. So my parents are from Limassol and Paphos. Elvis was selfless. Yes. Louis, my youngest son Theo is always talking about keto. Yes. Come on. Go Theo. You got it. He really cared about everyone and everything he did. He always wanted it to be perfect. He was amazing and beautiful man. Always will be. Beautiful words, Elizabeth. I have to go and get ready to go. Oh, bye, Denise. Thank you for joining us. Denise, we send you love. Bye all, have to go. I have been without heat since last night, so I'm going someplace warm. Everyone be safe. Bye, Deborah. Send you love. It's time to go now anyway, guys, but am I the only one who doesn't like Elvis being associated with Trump? Now remember, Mystic Werewolf, remember, I'm in England. I have nothing to do with politics. I know nothing about American politics. I've seen you guys arguing about Trump on my YouTube channel comments. I stay out of it because it doesn't mean anything to me. I know nothing. I'm in England. Yeah, so that makes me laugh. Mystic Werewolf. He did not be able to just stop taking meds. He would have been weaned off, probably why he did stop, then went back to them. Now, we don't know. If you listen to Ginger, he was getting better. He had lost some weight. He was excited for the future. He was exercising. So maybe he was weaning himself off them. We don't know, because he had a heart attack. Whatever anyone says, he did have a heart attack. Yeah? So who knows how Elvis's health would have changed in his 40s. We don't know. There's a possibility he would have got better. Possible. I've known worse. There's many a rock star that got better as they got older because they calmed down. Elvis did not have the right people around him, and I wish Elvis would have made Frank's help. Would have made Frank. I'm not sure what you mean. I know Frank Sinatra was trying to help Elvis. He was phoning him up in hospital. I know that. Is that who you mean? Frank Sinatra really loved Elvis. He really did. Debbie, and so did Nancy. Nancy loved Elvis as well. Andrea, my niece, is a tattooist in Larnaca. Larnaca, right, okay. Always because Elvis was so beautiful and sweet and cute and loving and caring, kind and compassionate. Beautiful words, Teresa. Elvis was one amazing man. I went cold turkey 11 years ago. Well done, Emily. Be proud. Be proud, Emily. I am just saying, if Elvis was alive, he would 1,000% hate Trump. I don't know. Mystic Werewolf, I don't know. I don't know, honestly. I'm so glad the diet works for you. I went food shopping last night and bought all the stuff I needed to start. Yes, Joanne, come on. Joanne, this is not a story. It cured my ulcerative colitis. It stopped my dizzy spells. It reduced all my pain. It lowered my blood sugar. It made my blood pressure go back to normal. I've had my heart checked, my brain checked. I've had a full MRI. I've had all my bloods. I am completely normal. It even stopped me being pre-diabetic. I was just about to become type 2 diabetic. I was that close. It works. It works. Debbie, they were just afraid of it because when you went to a psychologist and said you were crazy. Pat, I love Trump. Yes. Oh my God, we're not going to talk about Trump. I've got nothing against Trump. He seems okay to me. I know nothing. I know nothing. Guys, come on, we got to go. Look, do you know how long we've been on here? We've been on here for well over an hour. So I'm going to have to go. There's about, we've got another 8 minutes left. I can play that tomorrow. So guys, I've had a really nice time defending Elvis Presley. We've been on defending Elvis Presley. I still do live streams, Emily. I still do live streams here at Defending Elvis Presley and on Elvis Presley Fan on Keto. I do them on both. I also post videos on both channels every day, and I will keep doing it. I'm not going to stop doing videos here at Defending Elvis. I'm going to do both. I'm happy to do both. I enjoy it. I enjoy it. So guys, thank you for joining me. I think we've had a really, really good live stream tonight. I think tonight has been one of our best live streams. I've really enjoyed it. Josie, sugar makes you more hungry. No good, no sugar in all our food. Josie, you're learning. You're learning. So Josie, are you keto? Are you going keto? You're learning. Sugar does keep you hungry. It sure does. Carbs keep you hungry as well. So guys, I'll be back tomorrow morning. Thank you, everyone. I send you all up. It's nice to see some of the old names back on. A few of the old names were on tonight. That pleases me because we were missing a few people, aren't we, guys? Yeah. So anyway, guys. Yeah, we had a great time. Emily, please don't worry. We will always do lives. Have a great time, guys. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I've had a really good time. And it's been nice spending an hour with you guys. Tomorrow morning, I will be back on Elvis Presley Fan on Keto. Please subscribe to both channels. It's important to me. I'd love you to be members of both channels. It's very cheap. It's a few bucks. Usual, if you want to buy me a coffee, get me a coffee. If you want to do a super thank you, get us a super thank you. Hit the thank you button, the like button, the subscribe button. It all helps the channel. Any support you guys give me for these channels I'm very grateful. Very grateful. Bye, guys. I like how you say my name, Louis. Mystic Werewolf. Yeah. So take care. Mystic Werewolf, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. Teresa, all of you. Karen, Joe, Emily. Tony's me. Tony, where are you tonight? Are you asleep? Tony must be asleep. Tony, we miss you. Take care, guys. All the best. Love to all of you. I'm going to bed. I'm going to get some sleep.